the desires of our hearts, one whose will directs us to the way that we might not have imagined.
The father-daughter, having not spoken for almost a year now, shared a public hug, drawing cheers from the crowd.
Happy Father's Day to all the fathers who make sure that another person is given the best of everything.
She later spoke about the many complex issues children face today, including some that may be close to her own personal experience.
The trauma of broken families, the lifelong baggage because of irresponsible and bad parenting, the abandonment issues due to an absentee parent.
Before the inaugural events, she joined her immediate family for a pictorial. President Duterte and her elder brother, Paulo, were not present. Still, her inauguration was unlike any other. The ceremony was held amid a backdrop of a pandemic. There's also the high level of security, since this was the first time ever Mindanao hosted one of the nation's most traditional political events. About 600 VIPs attended the event, including national and local officials and members of the diplomatic community.
We know that she will bring her brand of leadership of Davao City to the country.
Kundi siya nagbido, di sana presidente siya. Pero kumbaga, panahon.
Since the inauguration was merely ceremonial, Sara Duterte will not assume her new post until the end of the month. David Santos, CNN Philippines.
Police are targeting to set up viewing sites for the inauguration of President-elect Bongbong Marcos on June 30. They're now coordinating with the Marcos camp on deploying large LED TV screens in venues such as the Philippine Arena in Bulacan. Other areas considered: the Philippine Sports Center in Pasig, the North Luzon Express Terminal in Bulacan, and the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay. The move is a bid to reduce the number of people expected to flock to the inauguration venue, the National Museum in Manila. More news: authorities coordinate with officials in the U.S. city of Philadelphia following the death of a Filipino lawyer who was shot there. 35-year-old John Albert Lilo died after being in critical condition since he was shot in the head on Saturday. Philippine Consul General in New York, El Mercato, says Lilo and his mother were in an Uber ride to the airport during their vacation when 6 bullets were fired at the car. Authorities are still determining who the suspect is and the possible motive for the shooting. Lilo was supervising legislative lawyer in the Senate from 2016 to 2018 and served in the offices of former Senator Manuel Roas II and detained Senator Laila de Lima. During the May elections, Lilo, who was the official counsel of outgoing Vice President Leni Robredo in the Board of Canvassers in the city of Makati. More stories when we come back. The President-elect says he will be heading the Agriculture Department. We have more about this development from Rex and Media Live. And the Health Department reminds the public to keep their guards up as the rising cases could mark the beginning of another COVID-19 surge. Stay tuned to Newsnight.
SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement, gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement, ato ni Bay. SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement, gama sa Davao para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement, ato ni Bay.
Ito ang RPN, Radio Philippines Network, DXKT 1071 sa inyong mga radyo, ang Radyo Ronda sa Davao.
Welcome back to CNN Philippines Breaking News. At this hour, President-elect Bongbong Marcos announces he will take the helm of the Agriculture Department. At least for now, he recognizes the threat of a possible food shortage and higher food prices in the coming months. Our Rex Umito joins us live from the Marcos headquarters in Mandaluyong City. Rex, how does he plan to respond to these challenges?
Well, first, increasing agricultural production during the planting season in the coming months. He's hoping that more yield will translate into a lower food prices. Much more that, according to him, Vietnam and Thailand have already ended some of their exportation to the Philippines. We all understand that the Duterte administration and the Congress have passed the rice tariffication law sometime during his administration, and that this will result into lower rice prices. And after the Congress has passed the rice tariffication law, which allowing more rice imports, we have seen relatively lower rice prices compared to the years prior. Although we have yet to know what are the measures that he will take to exactly boost production.
As to agriculture, I think that the problem is severe enough that I have decided to take on the portfolio of Secretary of Agriculture, at least for now. And at least until we can reorganize the Department of Agriculture in the way that it will make it ready for the next years to come.
Second, he also wants to restructure the Agriculture Department for the long term. He's seeking to remove the attached agencies that are no longer responsive to the needs of the sector. Marcos has yet to specify what are these agencies that he believes are no longer serving their purpose. Third, more assistance for those who will be affected by higher food and oil prices. The President-elect is not keen on suspending the excise tax on oil products. He explains he would rather give aid for those who will be affected by the spiking commodity prices. BBM would like to specifically help those who will be immediately affected by higher prices. Aside from giving more aid or ayuda, Marcos also wants to speed up the National ID program, which he says will be important to distribute aid to more beneficiaries. Pia.
Rex Remigio there reporting from the Marcos headquarters in Mandaluyong City. When Sara Duterte assumes the vice presidency on June 30th, she will be dealing with issues hounding the Education Department, which she will lead. A day after her inauguration in Davao City, the vice president-elect speaks out about some of her priorities as education chief, including reiterating her support for mandatory military training. Our David Santos reports.
When VP-elect Sara Duterte takes over the education portfolio, among her top priorities, bring back full in-person learning when schools reopen in August.
We are targeting that, yes.
Over a third of the total number of public schools have started holding face-to-face classes. In contrast, only about 1 in every 10 private schools have followed suit. Teachers groups have been urging the government to gradually scrap remote learning and let kids head back to classrooms.
Sa tingin namin, hindi na ito dapat i-delay. Ibalik na natin yung face-to-face classes. After all, halos lahat naman ay pinapayagan na natin. Bakit yung classes sa school ay hindi pa, no?
They also want the incoming education chief to look into the teachers' perennial problem, better pay.
The Duterte administration did something about that, no? So we'll dovetail from what the Duterte administration did for the welfare and benefit of teachers.
Another crucial issue Duterte will have to face calls to abolish the contentious K-12 program, something President-elect Bongbong Marcos has instructed her to review.
That is something na kailangan pag-usapan, na it cannot be decided overnight.
And despite initially getting mixed reactions on her support for mandatory military training in schools, Duterte seems to be standing her ground. This despite the fact that such a proposal will only cover students 18 and above, which is beyond the mandate of basic education. It could, however, be included among the legislative agenda of the incoming administration.
I hope that it will be included since marami namang pending bills dyan sa Congress with regard to that.
Duterte is set to hold a transition meeting with Secretary Liling Briones this weekend to extensively discuss the direction of the nation's education system. David Santos, CNN Philippines, Davao City.
The health department warns the country could be seeing the beginning of a peak in COVID-19 cases, particularly in Metro Manila. Spokesperson Maria Rosario Vergere says the current trend mirrors the increase during the Delta and Omicron waves. Vergere attributes the rising infections to the Omicron subvariants, increased mobility, and waning immunity from slow booster uptake.
We are looking at around 41 million individuals who have not received their boosters, and we know that the immunity is waning, so we need to have this demand from our countrymen. But I hope that a lot of people know there would be more demand for this, and they will not wait until cases are so high already that they receive their boosters by that time.
Health officials, however, have yet to approve a second booster for the general public, despite calls for additional protection against more infectious subvariants. The DOH is closely monitoring the cases in 7 regions now listed on your screens. Over 3,000 infections were reported nationwide from June 13th to the 19th. Daily average was at 436, 82% higher than the previous week. COVID-19 watchdog Octa Research expects new cases in the country to reach up to 1,000 by the end of the week, but the group believes there is no need to escalate to alert level 2 just yet. Overseas now, following the spread of COVID-19, North Korea is battling the outbreak of an unidentified intestinal disease. Leader Kim Jong-un and wife Ri Sol-ju have sent medicines to South Gyeonggi province to address the acute enteric epidemic. Medical responders also reportedly dispatched. Over 800 families were affected in the province south of the capital, Pyongyang. Welcome news for the United States, which is set to administer COVID-19 shots to younger children. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has given a go signal for the inoculation of children under 5 years old. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration approved the expansion of the emergency permits of the Pfizer and Moderna doses on Friday. And back here at home, motorists may want to gas up now before pump prices go up again for the 3rd straight week this month. Fuel companies will increase diesel prices by over 3 pesos beginning tomorrow, June 21st. Kerosene will be more expensive by nearly 2 pesos per liter and gasoline by 80 centavos per liter. Fuel prices in Metro Manila already range from 75 to 97 pesos. Nearly 400 Muslims looking to fulfill their highest duty to visit their holiest site were instead left stranded at the Manila International Airport on Sunday. Our Melissa Lopez talks to some of them in this report.
Aida Makud is supposed to be in Saudi Arabia by now, performing the sacred pilgrimage called the Hajj. She paid nearly 2 million pesos last month just to bring her family of 6 abroad. But after waiting over 8 hours in Naiya on June 19th, their plane left them behind as they did not receive the special visas to make the trip.
Makakaalis ba kami? Saan napunta yung pera namin? Mapabalik pa ba yung pera namin? Yung mga tao po, nag-iipon po yan ng pera. Nagbebenta ng mga ari-arian nila, ng kabayo, ng kalabaw, ng lupa, magsasanda pa ng bahay nila para lang makapunta ng Saudi.
It's a must to visit Mecca at least once in a Muslim's life. For Aida, a businesswoman from Marawi, it's already her 17th trip there and her first since the COVID-19 pandemic. But she's now grieving.
Yun ang pangarap ng bawat Muslim. Pag nag-touch po ma'am yung isang Muslim, maghihingi po sila ng repentance from God, from Allah, na kung totoo po sa puso nila, mapo-forgive po sila.
Makud luckily has a home in Manila. Those who don't took shelter at the Golden Mosque in Quiapo. The National Commission on Muslim Filipinos pins the blame for the chaos on a third-party service provider.
Pagdating mo sa financial, wala akong problema. Nabayaran mo natin lahat ang nila, ang mga dapat na bayaran, yung visa, yung tent, yung nila sa tinatawag na Mina Arapa, yung insurance. Ang nagkaroon lang talaga ng problema, yung dapat na counterpart ni hotel, yung service provider, hindi nila na-remit kasi hindi tinatanggap ng system doon. Kasi may bago ng sistema ngayon ang Saudi.
Authorities say the visas will be sorted out and the pilgrims left behind will be prioritized.
Ito ay isolated case na dahil doon sa hindi natin na-anticipate yung bagong kalakaran. Magbibigay ang National Commission on Muslim Filipinos ng assistance. We will shoulder their hotels as well as their meals while they are on stranded or while they are not yet deployed for departure. Maghingi ng special flight for these people. Hindi lang doon, humingi kami ng ma-whip yung mga penalties na pinapataw ng mga airline companies.
The Muslim faithful are kept hanging as the end of Hajj season draws closer.
Ang pinakagusto namin, makalis kami ng maga. One prayer doon is equivalent to 70,000 virtues dito. Kaya sinasamantala na.
Melissa Lopez, CNN Philippines.
Entertainment updates still ahead. K-pop fans, are you ready to find your treasure here in Manila? 3 Korean acts will perform for Pinoy audiences next month. Plus, we'll give you a look at BTS's special music video for Yet to Come. Keep it here on CNN Philippines.
SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement. Gama sa Davao, para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement. Ato ni Bay. SMC, San Miguel Corporation. Bisag unsang industriya ang sudlan niini, tinguha sa SMC ang pag-uswag o paglambo sa mga Pilipino. Karon, gikan sa SMC, aniya na ang SMC Davao Cement. SMC Davao Cement. Gama sa Davao, para sa Mindanao. SMC Davao Cement. Ato ni Bay.
Ito ang RBN, Radio Philippines Network, DXKT 1071 sa inyong mga radyo, ang Radyo Ronda sa Davao.
This is Newsnight on CNN Philippines. Sports stories now. A back-to-back crown for the country in the Mobile Legends Bang Bang Southeast Asia Cup, with RSG Philippines sweeping the Indonesian team RRQ Hoshi 4-0 in the finals in Malaysia. Eman Sangko of RSG was judged most valuable player of the tournament. And a runner-up finish for Filipina tennis star Alex Ayala at the women's singles finals of the W60 Madrid meet in Spain on Sunday. Hometown bet Marina Basols Ribera took the title, defeating the 70-year-old in straight sets 4-6, 5-7. Collegiate volleyball here in Manila, the undefeated NU Lady Bulldogs Game 1 of the UAAP Finals, beating the De La Salle Lady Spikers in 3 sets. NU is now 1 win away from the title. Find out if the team completes a historic sweep of the tournament with Game 2 tomorrow at the Mall of Asia Arena in Pasay City. In K-pop, this one's for fans of boy group Treasure and GOT7's Jackson Wang and Bam Bam. These artists are performing on one stage this July 29th at the Mo Arena. Tickets for 2022 K-pop Masters in Manila go on sale next Sunday, June 26th. Treasure is known for tracks like Boy and I Love You. And BTS armies who enjoyed the song Yet to Come, The Most Beautiful Moment, have an adorable new music video to watch. The K-pop sensation released another video for the lead single off their new album, Proof. This version features the members as animated characters promote their new game, BTS Island, in the song. Proof has also become BTS's 6th album to top the Billboard 200 chart. The anthology debuted at #1 after selling 300,014 album units in the U.S. by June 16. And that is it for now. Join me again on News.ph at 7 p.m. I'm Pia Ontiveros. Before we go, progress underway for the infrastructure sector after road projects to the backseat because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Let's watch this.
The pandemic has been a flickering traffic light in the economy. Road projects had to take a back seat to curb the consequences of the health crisis. But now that infrastructure gaps are ready to be filled, driving forward on the road to progress is now green and go. For 2 years, mobility has been put to a halt due to the pandemic, sidelining the incumbent administration's ambitious Build, Build, Build program for some time. But as restrictions have eased, both the government and private sectors are circling back to the much-needed infrastructure development in the country.
When the pandemic hit us, we lost trillions of pesos in our economy. When the lockdown was implemented, the economy almost totally shut down. And then came the third or the fourth quarter of 2020. That is when construction started to pick up. I think it was very important on the part of the private sector to pick up immediately. That was a major contribution of the private sector, in particular the continuing construction of the Skyway. They were able to finish and keep many of these workers on the job. So as far as the economy is concerned, the private sector doing infrastructure projects contributed significantly to the economy at the time. For us to be able to move forward, infrastructure development should be a focus of any economic development program in the country in the next few years.
COVID was very unknown to us. Naapektuhan na mabuti siyempre ang mga negosyo dito sa Laia. 2 years siyang tumagal na walang negosyo and everything. But they opened for 2 months noong 2020. Ang daming dumating agad na tao. Even the travel time has been cut short because of the roads that they built. As a matter of fact, before, yung pagparito lang, it will take us 6-7 hours. Ngayon, isipin mo, 3 hours nandito ka na. This is what is bringing more people to Laia. The convenience of traveling time and experiencing the beach.
San Miguel's decision to go into infrastructure development was part of its major diversification program in the late 2000s. To unlock the true economic